Ministry of Education, in collaboration with other educators, have worked hand in hand in ensuring that the nation has got quality education. In today's episode, we meet with a teacher, a human resource developer, and a nation builder, Mr. Habasiad.
I'm from Mahalape. I come from quite a big family, a family of 11 men and 4 women. Growing up as a boy, under the tutelage of our parents, I would say tutelage because they were not only just parents, but they were also teachers, they were also managers. They used to manage us because it was quite a big family. My father initially was a policeman, and then upon retiring he got into business and ran a small butchery. It was successful in its own way, and my mother always supported him in running the butchery, and also looked after the family, of course. Well, by then, you actually got a job. You actually got a job before you even finished. DPSM and the Teaching Service Management, they would bring forms to students who are completing in the last few months when we are writing exams, and then we'll complete those forms indicating where you would want to work. But because I believed so much in Muyong College, what I got from Muyong College as an institution with a very strong and profound academic standing by then, because it was highly revered, I then decided that my first choice in that form, second choice, third choice, I just wrote Muyong College. And I guess the Minister of Education, they must have said, well, this time we are lucky to get somebody who is really keen to go out there and teach in the bush, because not too many people wanted to go and teach at Muyong College because it was very isolated. Well, my answer was a straightforward one. I wanted to be a lawyer, and I passed quite well. My Form 5, I qualified to be a lawyer, but unfortunately, my application forms mysteriously got misplaced at the Ministry of Education. I was not invited for interviews at the time when other students were being invited for law. By then, you would go to Swaziland and then go to Edinburgh for studies, for law studies, for legal studies. Unfortunately, I missed out on that one. My heart was very sore. However, the panel said to me when I went for interview, they said, okay, choose any other program that you want other than law, and then I chose teaching. And I think it was a good choice, because ever since then, up to now, I have never regretted having been a teacher. I still regard myself as a teacher, as an educationist, a human resource developer, and a nation builder, and I'm proud to be a teacher. I post Muyong College as a teacher. I went to teach. I was appointed to be education attaché in London at the Botswana High Commission. I worked as education attaché from 1990 to 1997 in London. What my job entailed basically was to ensure that I looked for places for Botswana students to go and study in the UK, the Republic of Ireland, a number of countries in Southern Europe, and also Australia and New Zealand. And as the education attaché, other than looking for places for students from diploma level right up to masters and so forth, even short courses on behalf of DPSM and the Ministry of Education. While we were in London, because I traveled quite extensively to Australia, New Zealand, Southern Europe, as well as the Republic of Ireland and the UK itself, wherever I visited my students, certainly those visits would take me to tertiary education establishments. And then I started to understand better how some of these tertiary education institutions were run, and the kind of programs which they offered, and so on and so forth. And then while we were in Pretoria, working as a diplomat, I then said to my wife, but for how long is the Botswana government going to keep on sending students to other countries? When are we going to set up our own institutions? When are we going to grow our own tertiary education establishment? This question was always at the back of my mind. And then in 1999, towards the end, we decided that no, why don't I resign from the Ministry of Education and go back home. The primary reason for coming back home, we had seen a golden opportunity, a business opportunity, beautiful prospects and opportunities in terms of helping the Botswana government to place students in South Africa. When we came back home, the idea was to help the Ministry of Education place more of their students, not only in South Africa, but across the SADC region. So we came and set up Guinea-Bissau Institute. That was in 2000. Our project was short-lived because, like I said, REUPLOAD stopped everybody else from placing students on behalf of government. Instead, they deployed their own education attaches, one based in Cape Town, another in Johannesburg, and another one in Pretoria. We really went through a very, 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 very difficult time. We then say to ourselves, we have been caught unawares. We were never prepared for this. We thought this project would sustain us for quite some time. So we then said, things are very difficult. We had school-going children who were in schools. We had a mortgage that we were supposed to honor, and running a family just like everybody else. Things were really tough for us, and it is at that time that we realized that self-employment is not really an easy thing. Self-employment is extremely difficult. Among other things which made it very difficult by then was that as a startup company, it was very difficult for us to source funding or revenue or loans from anybody else. Banks would not even touch a new company, especially small as we were. Fortunately, we had Peu Holdings, which was a subsidiary of DBS and Botswana. Peu Holdings came to our rescue, and we got into a joint venture partnership with Peu Holdings starting from late 2001, when we set up Guinea-Bissau University College in Francistown, and it was a joint project between Guinea-Bissau Institute and Peu Holdings. So those were our humble beginnings. There was no government sponsorship then. We had to run around and literally market our programs in almost every other village in the neighborhood of Francistown, and we also approached private companies who would send their in-service trainees to us for further training at certificate and diploma level in various disciplines. We started with about 50 students, and as we speak today, we have close to 3,000 students. To anybody and everybody who aspires to be in self-employment, when you leave a good paying job to go into the world unknown to you, the most important thing is you should stay focused, you must be determined, you must be resolute to succeed. There will be a lot of concerns, a lot of anxieties about how you are going to raise your children, how where you are going to get the fees from, how you are going to honor your financial obligations towards the mortgage of your house, how you are going to pay for your car on a monthly basis. And I must say, these fears, it's not that they are unfounded. They are true and they are real. I remember at some stage, we could not even afford fees for our children. We could not even afford petrol for your car. Mascom had just come into the picture in 1999. You could not even afford money for airtime. You could not afford mobako for your kids going to school, and you could not even do anything for as long as you are committed to achieve and succeed in the vision that you have set yourselves. That becomes your secret weapon. You will keep going all the time because you are very sure of where you want to go through the vision that you have set for yourself. Guinea-Bissau University initially started as a university college, like I said, in Francistown, and then we moved on to BBS Mall in 2005, established a second campus up to 2006 December. And then in 2007 we moved to a bigger campus at Commerce Park because we are anticipating government-sponsored students. And we started having government-sponsored students in 2007 up to now. And then 2012, 1st of April, we moved to this new purpose-built campus where we are at Peulwane in Gaborone West. Guinea-Bissau University became a fully fledged university when the BQA granted us university status in June 2015. And since then, we have been working to become a really fully fledged private university.
Gets tough, perseverance is what keeps us hopeful. Rahaba has encountered various challenges in his journey, but is now one of the country's leading tertiary education